Hello, everyone. Welcome to FPL Without Borders. Today, I'm your host Arsalan, and I have with me Puneet, my co-host. And today we're discussing FPL Game Week 26. So, Game Week 25, double Game Week 25, जो कि काफी लंबा चला. It's finally over, and we made it through. Slot versus Moyes and all the drama. But yeah, how was your week, Puneet? Very briefly and high level.
गुड आई थिंक ग्रीन एरो आया है तो काफ़ी वो पहले एक अच्छी स्टार्ट होती है हमेशा आई डिड नॉट टेक अ हिट पीपल टुक हिट सो आई थिंक वो एक थोड़ा सा बच गया बट ये भी देखने में आ रहा है कि हिट्स लेने के बावजूद लोगों के ग्रीन एरोज आए हैं एंड पॉजिटिव रहा है सो it is a competitive league now so but overall happy not too sad and a lot to do now एक और एम का वीक बचा हुआ है so
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, नहीं definitely. Like double game week तो था, but the template was pretty how do you say it? Like pretty common, like pretty strong template. और सबकी overall chip strategy I think more or less similar ही थी. Like इतना variance था नहीं, तो arrows were pretty neutral I feel, unless you had like a few big differentials. But yeah, for me as well, it was a green arrow, a normal green arrow. I'm up from 140k to 115k. So decent, can't complain. When you're annoyed of how Slot lost his points last moments पे.
Everton और
But yeah,
Villa both.
yeah, exactly. Fair. So, but yeah, a decent week, can't complain. I got into Watkins. Watkins gave me a 15 pointer. That was very, very helpful for sure.
Great
Yeah,
return.
game week 26 coming up in 2 days. Today we're recording this after the Liverpool Aston Villa game. So everything we'll discuss here is taking that into account. And if you've made it through made it through the video till here, please drop us a like and a subscribe. We are very small, but we put in a lot of effort in this content. So yeah, would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get into it. So number one, let's discuss the main discussion points which we will discuss in this video. Um, so I'll try to add timestamps in the video. अगर किसी को कोई specific section ज़्यादा उनके लिए relevant है, so you can just feel free to skip ahead. But we'll go through this, and I do recommend listening through the first few points as well, because we'll discuss the overall schedule and the chip strategy as well. But yeah. So let's get into the new double game week announcement. फ्राइडे को अब ये कुछ नया एक ट्रेंड आ गया, हर फ्राइडे न्यू डबल गेम वीक अनाउंस हो रहा है. so we were told that game week 32 will now be a confirmed double for Newcastle and Crystal Palace, and this would be hosted at St James's Park, the Newcastle home pay game है. Uh, this is a shortened view of the calendar. Looking forward, main events जो हैं, so 29 is obviously we are past 25, so it's done. But 29 is again lingering. फिर 32 is now a double, which is, as I said, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. 33 is a double. Oh, my bad. 33 is a double, as we've already discussed. It is the biggest double, and then 34 is the biggest blank. Again, 36 is a possible double, and 37 is a blank. So overall, high level stuff. ये इसका थोड़ा elongated version है. But so what I generally एक चीज मैं इस तरह देखता हूँ इसके ऊपर, which I'm trying to do more often, is कि a lot of time what happens is जैसे 29 blank है या फिर 34 blank है, तो आप generally you start removing players from these blank teams. But एक चीज अब like what I'm trying to think about is आगे पीछे उनकी क्या fixture है. So for example, uh, like before the blank, Newcastle के for example West Ham है, Liverpool है, Nottingham है. So people are, and City है. So people are like removing them, which makes sense. And obviously it's a blank game week coming up. But उसके बाद you again have very good fixtures like Brentford, Leicester, and United. I think are very good attacking fixtures. So just like overall think about who you're removing and उनको वापस कब लेके आना होगा. Even if you're doing your wild card in 31, 32, हो सकता है you might want Isak back. So he is one of those assets which you might just think of holding on क्योंकि you might also have some team value assigned to him. उसके अलावा they're also good fixtures. So just a food for thought. Nothing too much to discuss here. Puneet, anything to call out?
No, I think important that now people इस पर देखना नजर डालें, especially जो भी अब सोच रहे हैं कि and Ben Crellin like great job like always, and you also have bought two very important points कि अब देखिए अगर आप 29 फ्री हिट ले रहे हो तो आप 30-31 के आसपास वाइल्ड कार्ड नहीं खेलोगे तो यू विल प्ले क्लोजर टू 34-35. अगर आप 29 फ्री हिट नहीं ले रहे हो तो आप 30-31 या क्लोजर टू दैट अपना वाइल्ड कार्ड खेलोगे, और उसी बेसिस पे जिनके पास एएम चिप बची हैं जो जिन्होंने नहीं भी खेली होंगी तो वो खेल सकते हैं. ट्रिपल कैप्टन जो हम सोच रहे हैं खेलने का वो है. तो ये अभी ऑलमोस्ट आपका हर वीक का सॉर्ट ऑफ प्लानर है. लाइक यू हैव टू लुक एट दिस व्हेन यू प्लान फॉर योर फ्यूचर chips, player transfers. So extremely important sort of chart to have in front of you.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Moving on. One second, guys. All right. So now, यहाँ पे I've tried to put down the most. I think this would be one of the most template strategies. This is not to say कि इसके अलावा वाली strategies गलत हैं. This is obviously your chip strategies overall. You're very team dependent, and the strategy you've been thinking about कि 29 को किस तरह deal करना है. So you've already been thinking about it. That doesn't mean कि this is the best strategy, I think, but this might be the most common or the most template strategy, which is there's a reason for that. Obviously, it's safer, and like so. But it really depends on the team. So 31. So now 29 is your blank. 29 में people are trying to deaden your team. So सारे जितने भी assets हैं which don't have a good fixture, you are trying to remove them so that you have a team जिसके अंदर you have 11 fielded players in 29, which would mean कि 30 or 31 में the team मतलब आपकी team काफी weak हो जाएगी in a way that you might have suboptimal assets, is what I'm trying to say. For example, you won't have Liverpool assets, you won't have Newcastle assets. Hence, after that wild card उससे करीब हो, that's very suggested. So that's the overall idea. So number one for game week 29, delay your transfers till you can, unless you have a very obvious issue in your team, which a lot of people have right now. For example, Gakpo is half injured, Ahmad is injured, so you have a lot of injuries as well. And उसके बाद you also have blanks. So try to sort of delay your transfers unless you have a obvious problem, and then fix that. And obviously avoid buying assets who blank in 29, but that is assuming you have this strategy which I'm mentioning नीचे. और उसके बाद generally हम think about it as Salah, Isak, Palmer. Um, a lot of people have बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें team value assigned, so you might have to sell one of those if you are thinking of bringing Haaland or any other expensive assets. But like I would try to avoid selling them. And then because of all of this mentioned, I think the ideal game week 31 से 30 would be the ideal wildcard window, especially 29 के बाद, क्योंकि 31 के अंदर you will get the most information about FA Cups and Carabao Cups. So this by 31 you'll have the most information, so it's like easier for you to sort of plan ahead. Um, sorry, my bad. What do you think about this, Puneet? Like, how are you thinking about free hit 29 और उसके बाद वाला plan?
So I have a question for you as well. और before मैं वो पूछता हूँ, तो पहली बात तो जिनका भी ये प्लान है, I think उनके पास अब more or less यही strategy बची है. In the sense आपको 29 free hit नहीं लेना है, क्लोज टू 30-31 वाइल्ड कार्ड करना है. और उसके कारण ये है कि पहले तो आप न्यूकैसल और बोर्नमथ एसेट्स को फिल करना शुरू करेंगे आपके वाइल्ड कार्ड में, बिकॉज आपके पास 32 33 जो भी डबल आपके पास है वो। दूसरी बात ये भी है, एंड नाउ कम्स माय क्वेश्चन टू यू, इज दैट बिटवीन साला, इसाक एंड पामर, who are you willing to drop for Haaland? Because to
Oh,
me that is a real, and it is, I mean Isak आप drop नहीं करोगे because आपके पास double है, so you are going to take him to that double for 32 33 is how I am thinking, at least. Again, could I could
mm,
I could be not that far sighted, but at least मुझे जो दिख रहा है is that साला जिस हिसाब से फॉर्म में जा रहा है, he looks like a, और हम ये कैप्टनसी डिस्कशन में भी करेंगे कि like even in the toughest game weeks you cannot not keep him in as your option. So who do you think is our option to get City asset? Like to your point number three, assuming this is your chip strategy now.
yeah, that's the $1 million question. देखो, Isak का the thing is Newcastle have a double in 33 and 36 both.
Okay,
So I think Isak is a hold for sure. And especially अगर थोड़ा पहले किसी ने ले लिया था and they have some team value assigned, Isak I think is definitely a hold. क्योंकि फिर आपको बहुत दफा like buy sell करना पड़ेगा and it'll
correct.
just cost you more. Um, Salah again, I think Salah is undroppable, and I would be more open to selling Palmer if I had to sell one of these three. And
Hmm.
reason also being Chelsea's recent form. Not to say that Palmer is a bad asset, especially people selling Palmer right now. I don't recommend that. They have like two peach fixtures
Yeah.
um, here. Chelsea has Southampton and Leicester coming up. Before that,
Hmm.
please avoid selling him. But yeah, so Palmer, I think I might be able to compromise on if I wanted to get Haaland लेना है या
Good in.
Haaland Watkins Isak की अब partnership बना रहे हैं या फिर Saka
Hmm.
might be back by then as well. So you would
Good
need
point.
money.
Good point. Yeah, even Foden, yeah. I think if
Even
you are
Foden.
doubling up, I think City have a double, so वो double up करने के लिए भी you'll have to think कौन आपका second. Both assets are going to be expensive, so yeah. But yeah, like as a strategy, this is pretty sound. The good part is everyone now will have at least थोड़ा थोड़े तो differential, right? Like जैसे हम अब discuss कर रहे हैं कि आपको हालैंड को लाने के लिए किसी को तो निकालना पड़ेगा ही. And if you then add Saka, which is apart from Haaland, for Foden and and an Arsenal asset in your team, it is going to be a real. I think ये differential आपका major rank swing कर सकते हैं. Like which are अब everyone is trying to now gain those larger ranks, right? Like you
Mm,
are also thinking of 20k, 30k, 50k rank jumps in game weeks, and this is your window for people who are in that bracket to sort of
100%.
come through.
100%. And like City का एक दो तीन तुमने एक तो बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट्स टच किए. एक तो लाइक द फैक्ट के how we started the season when we had Palmer, Haaland, Salah, Isak, Saka, Son, Bruno. Like we had a lot of very solid premiums. Or abhi like they've sort of dried up, to be honest. Everybody has Salah and everybody has Isak and everybody has Palmer. वो sort of आपका funds generally divided है. But like you can afford more basically. Everybody can afford more. So वो interesting होगा. That would be a good differential period. And also Man City, by the way, are out of Champions League. So that means all the focus will now be on obviously FA Cup, but obviously on Premier League as well. तो rotation risk जो है with which comes with Pep, I think वो काफी it will be more predictable, the team, I would like to think so. And some assets such as Ederson, Haaland, I think might become no-brainers very soon.
It's true. Good point. जो दुख में आपके सामने अरसलन बैठा हुआ है वो प्लीज फॉरगिव. बहुत ही मुश्किल से आज शाम को गेम देखी गई है.
It was
बट या
such a painful watch, man. Half time के बाद it was unbearable.
आई एग्री मैन. सिटी आर अ
All right.
बीस्ट.
Real Madrid, respect.
ओह सॉरी या.
Palmer, like, oh, sorry. Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., like, 30 seconds on them, they were absolutely, like, they get a lot of hate, I feel, on PR, but absolutely fantastic players, like, unplayable, totally unplayable. अल्टीमेट टीम का कोई मैच लग रहा था कि फुल कोई मैच हो रहा है which
हम्म,
one team is super dominating and the second team like you have Mbappe and Vinicius 99 rated and सामने you have a gold
that's
rated
how
team.
they level up, man, during these games. I think they are just another
Yeah.
team.
Ah, okay, moving on. Best strikers. Uh, हम strikers आज क्यों discuss कर रहे हैं? इसका one of the main reasons is I think a lot of people are in the market for strikers. And Dai got injured. Gakpo is half injured. Pedro has been dropped. Uh, Pedro Porro, sorry, Jao Pedro has been dropped from the team, and they've been winning games. Brighton. So I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. So yeah, a lot of options available as well, and which we will discuss soon. Gakpo के ऊपर one quick quote from yesterday's press conference. He said both Gakpo and Gomez are not available for tomorrow, which was today's game. Cody is close to being back, and Joe will take a long time. So Gakpo people who are trying to sell, I think he might be a hold. Especially, I think they have what Southampton coming. Yeah, they have Southampton coming
Yes,
in
they have.
28.
Next game is for Gak. Sorry, not Gakpo. Pedro has Southampton next.
Oh, Pedro has Southampton next, and Gakpo has
Liverpool
Southampton before
20.
29. So, and he might be back by then. So, that's a subjective decision, but I think
Mm.
he might be back by Newcastle game. Acha, where we go? Okay, so best strikers, Pedro replacements, but generally all strikers. This graphic is from Football Hub. जिसमें I sort of filtered the data down to from game week 20 to game week 25, so it's a more recent data, and it doesn't include and it does not include players जिनके minutes बहुत कम थे. So these are players who have decent amount of minutes and recent data है per 90 pay. So I basically just sort of sorted them per 90 expected points उनके, which obviously इसकी पीछे calculation में it takes into account XG and XA and X goal involvements basically. So the top 10 names that came up are Mateta, Visa, Haaland, Wood, Marmoush, Raul, Beto, Cunha, and Welbeck. Um, इसमें obviously a few names which are barely like first reaction to this list, Puneet.
I think my whenever मैं ये season ही strikers देख रहा हूँ, maybe last 2-3 months में, my head straight away goes to Wood, man. Like I feel that guy has been so influential now, and like every rank, like you and I were checking the live FPL site just before going online, right? Like going live, and even to my rank, like I'm 2 million and you're 130, 120K. Both ranks he's affecting. He's the topmost player who's affecting that. It's astonishing कि वो इतना affect कर रहा है बंदा, and he's again uh, one of your replacements. And so yeah, so that's just a Wood sort of point. Now, how I see this is, and I think you and I were having a long chat on this today morning, is that आपको 29 के आसपास के अपने strikers देखने हैं, because if you are even if you are free hitting, like say even if you are free hitting in 29, you will have to plan till 29 or um, for 29, right? In both cases, um, the two or three strikers which come out right in front of you is Cunha, because unke fixtures is changing from 27. Wood, I think 28, 29 onwards, his fixtures are changing. And there's Visa. Like these three are your those 7.5 to 6.5 to 7.5 के रेंज के, ये तीन के आपके मेन स्ट्राइकर्स हो जाते हैं. अब is my first thought process ki how do you start integrating them? And number two is City. And City are a beast now. So beast in the sense, City के पास सिर्फ Premier League है, and you are better placed than me to answer this. And please go ahead after this. That if Haaland is not a feasible option for you and many people will not have that month budget, right? आपको बहुत डाउनग्रेड करना पड़ता है, या you have to sell couple of big assets to get him. So is Marmosh an option? So like these four names to me are proper, considerations into consideration set going forward.
Yeah. I think very nice analysis. Like the way you're planning, obviously 29 के हिसाब से, that definitely makes sense, and you have a lot of fixture changes coming up as well. So uh, a couple of points I'll touch upon.
Yeah, yeah.
पहली बात, अच्छा, we didn't acknowledge the fact that SN isn't here today. SN is on his flight to Islamabad, so uh, he'll be back next week, inshallah. So, uh,
Yeah.
but like why I remembered him just now was Mateta. Like
Oh
this,
man.
these are expected points based on their data, right? And in this whole list, अगर तुम देखो, तो I think Mateta के अलावा सबके 29 में games हैं,
Hmm.
right?
That's true.
Mateta का नहीं है. But he it's pretty astonishing what he's done, and SN got him at the right time, and he got a lot of gains from him. So fair play to him. But yeah, Haaland didn't play today. Madrid game में slight injury risk. I have no clue के how long term, short term it is, but hopefully I don't think it would be too long.
But just on Mateta, right? Because now while you were saying, my head was going. His fixtures still 29 are Fulham away, which is maybe the toughest fixtures अगला है, और Villa home, Ipswich home, और 30th में Southampton home, Southampton away, and then Brighton home before he goes to double. तो ये सब अच्छे fixtures है यार. Like if you're right. Like if you hold him as well, it is not a bad, like people who are free hitting in 29 और आप अगर hold कर रहे हो उसको, he's a
Hmm.
great option to just keep, man. और वो definite आपको return तो you can see on your screen, highest predicted goals है यार, expected points है.
ये typical एक जो game week 29, like blank game weeks का generally the biggest bias जो आ जाता है हमारे दिमाग में, कि हम like सफाई करना start करते हैं, like you
हाँ
clean up your
हाँ
team के वो,
exactly, yeah,
and like you lose foresight of what is on the other side. So
that's true.
very very fair point. 30 or 31 में they really have nice fixtures. तो yeah, if you can hold him, like मैं अभी भी like last week तक मैंने सोचा है कि should I have
हाँ.
bought him.
I
Like he
remember
is one of
that.
those के Wood वाला जो story है, like I should have bought him, not Gakpo but Wood. खैर, regrets, but no regrets. तो एक चीज और इसके अंदर मैं नेक्स्ट स्लाइड के अंदर है, तो वन थिंग आई वाज नोटिसिंग वाज अंडर एन ओवर परफॉर्मेंस, तो अगर Mateta, like the ones I haven't highlighted are the ones who are performing as expected, मतलब जितने इनके expected points हैं Mateta का, Haaland, Raul, like Cunha and stuff, they perform as much as the expected points. But would Marmoush and Beto, Marmoush although obviously a smaller sample size, so taking that into account, Wood and Beto as well, they're massively overperforming their XP.
Hmm.
So expected points अगर per game, this is per 90 by the way. Wood का is 5.5, which is still pretty high. He's giving back at 9.8 points per game, which is
Amazing,
insane. Amazing value
amazing.
at 7.1, still 7.1, and I still can't afford him. Ah, fuck. Anyway, anyways, same goes for Marmoush. People are buying him. Obviously, he got a hat trick. Marmoush, okay, let's spend 30 seconds. What do you think about Marmoush? Or yeah, what's your sort of take on it?
My first instinct is even if even so, I know people are saying Haaland, and obviously he is the first asset that you should look to get if you are buying City, like at least top two. But Mamush, the position he played, right, a last game में जो मैंने at least मैंने जितनी देखी against Newcastle, so all crosses uh, that were coming in, Marmoush was the first to sort of come in. Number one. Number two, Haaland and him were coordinating well, which meant Haaland उसको assist देने की कोशिश कर रहा था, which is also another. Are we good? So
So yeah,
एक और
yeah.
मामूश की ये थी कि हालैंड और मामूश की कोऑर्डिनेशन बहुत अच्छी थी, तो which meant that till the time De Bruyne is fully fit, till the time De Bruyne is uh, is like someone who's getting integrated into games, or even with De Bruyne, I feel that with the kind of impact Mamouche has had, like today, though he played alone as a striker, which I feel I don't know whether that's his best position, but in any case, the confidence Pep has started giving him, कि भाई play 90, play 75 easy, with or without Haaland, with all the creators around him, it makes me very confident कि for him, and that's why I think you and I were having this discussion. Ki what do you think out of the next 7 games? So his next 7 games, like I think we already saw this earlier in the sheet. If you want to bring that up again, the yeah, his next 7 games are Newcastle home, sorry, Liverpool away. इसके बाद देखो टॉटनम,
Sorry,
फॉरेस्ट,
Liverpool
oh
home
sorry
है
लिवरपूल
तो
होम, sorry हाँ
yeah, yeah.
हाँ लिवरपूल होम, then you have just a second. Sorry, yeah, Tottenham away, Forest
Tottenham,
away.
yeah,
Which are the two difficult? I mean, only Forest away to me is a difficult picture. Liverpool home is not a difficult picture because you would want to win at Etihad now, and with everything that has gone on. And Fir is a really good fixture run, which is Brighton home, Leicester home, United away, Crystal Palace away, and then before you get into your
double game
predicted
week.
double game weeks and all. So with that, if he एक या 2 गेम maybe you can wait till Liverpool or Forest, and if you realize कि नहीं हाँ भाई ये हर गेम खेल रहा है and he's like Pep has trusted him a lot, I would definitely consider him, especially if you feel that you don't want to break the bank for Haaland
Yeah, yep.
as a
No,
third striker.
fair analysis. Fair analysis. How I see it is like I'm very confident that Pep will not change the winning formula
Hmm.
unless he is forced to. जैसे आज we played the same team by minus like Stones got injured. Like that was one big thing, and Diaz was back. So थोड़ी सी team change हुई थी, but now
Hmm.
Stones is back. Stones is gone again. So Newcastle के against जो team थी, उसमें से like you remove Stones and you add sort of Diaz, they don't play the same role. So उसका क्या impact होगा we'll have to see. But once I would think he would play more because the players were playing well, especially हमारा जो front सारा है, like he will try to repeat players till we get into rhythm because we're missing that rhythm. And like he's mentioned that multiple time in press conferences. Jack Grealish पे जैसे उसने बात की कि he was playing really good and then he got injured again. Like no, देख 3-4 गेम कोई भी प्लेयर ना सेम कॉम्बिनेशन खेल नहीं पा रहे. अभी सबसे बड़ा इशू ये इंजरीज की वजह से. So I think he might get the nod multiple times, and also he was the second. He had the second most goals and assists in the top 5 Europe leagues before coming to City this season. So he
Oh.
has an elite striker, like even minus Haaland. Although like आज का game was I think an outlier, we were outclassed, but I think he would play more games than less. जैसे हम Alvarez के कहते थे कि always oh he's a backup striker, he would come off, but Alvarez की अगर minutes compare करो तो he averaged out 80 plus minutes the last 2 seasons. मतलब he would not play striker कहीं ना कहीं उसको जैसे अभी left wing पे खेल रहा है Marmoush is not a left winger but he can play left wing as well. So I think he's a safe bet, but I would hold on एक दो games और देखें how City is setting up without Stones, and then 29 में अगर if you feel they'll pull the trigger because yeah, triple City I think should be might be like if you can achieve there that's optimal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Visa is the only one in red who is extremely underperforming his data. So his points are 4 per game, but he should have had 7 per game. So last game maybe I think though offside goals were very close. I think Mbumo and Visa owners have been a little um unlucky. Anything else to sort of add on the striker conversation? Anyone else in your radar जो इस list में नहीं है? वरना हम रैंक भी कर देते हैं like very जाते जाते like let's rank our best strikers. Like what do you think?
I think with what I've read just now, I actually think. See, I mean, I know it is team dependent. I know it is chip dependent on how you play. Having said that, I think in my head it is pretty clear that Cunha and Wood are your strikers to carry in the near future, like at least till 30, I believe. Cunha also has fairly decent. fixtures. Correct. So he has Ipswich in 31. Absolutely. So yeah, and 32 he has Tottenham at home. So Cunha is to me your next buy, which if you have the price or sorry cost that you can bear. Wood, yes, because Wood is someone maybe is almost like a season keeper now, and we just discussed that आपने भी कहा कि भाई मुझे बहुत पहले ले लेना चाहिए था. Is your player to me number one, two, three would be Cunha, Wood, especially if you are, and third would be between Marmoush or Mateta. That's the three. I mean, I'm not considering Haaland in this because Haaland is a two asset player. Like आपको दो assets को निकाल कर उसको sort of लेना पड़ेगा. But ये तीन या चार players हैं जो आप आपको ले सकते हैं. आप बिना इसके ले सकते हो. This is my top three. Welbeck
देखो
is a
सिनेरियो ये है ना, सिनेरियो ये है, यू हैव Isak, say everybody has Isak, and let's
correct,
assume we're not selling Isak. ठीक है,
correct,
then sort of two slots to play with.
correct.
uh,
Yeah,
तब उसके अंदर your preferences Cunha and then Wood and then
Wood, yes. Between
Marmoush slash
Marmoush and Mateta, yeah. That's how I would.
Mateta. Although Mateta is blanking in 29, so would you
I mean,
like, obviously जो own करता है they shouldn't sell him
exactly.
unless needed, but people who don't have Mateta.
That is exactly the case. The challenge with I mean the challenge with or the good part about Mateta is uh, after Fulham away he has Villa and Ipswich both home games, and Palace are fairly decent at home, and then Southampton away and then Brighton home. So
Hmm.
maybe Marmoush more than Mateta after like contemplating even more now while reading this because 29 up खिला ही नहीं पाओगे. But other than that, he's still an asset. And I think you've hit the nail. अगर आपके पास है तो बेचो नहीं. अगर nahi hai, to you don't have to buy him ahead of these players.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. For me, I think Wood is number one. If you don't have Wood, I think you should still get Wood. If you don't, uh, उसके बाद my analysis and my thinking, I think I like Visa because of their next couple fixtures. Especially, it's a very nice entry point to Leicester, and they also play 29. And with the ownership
Mm.
of Mbumo and Visa together, if Brentford like score 4-5 goals in the next 2-3 matches, and which they are very capable of. कल अभी इनका next game is Leicester, by the way. Um, home है away है?
Next game is Leicester away.
Home game is
Brentford.
Leicester. हाँ, home game is Leicester away. ठीक है. So I think
Brentford
still
away.
it's a very nice fixture because Leicester
Totally.
is horrendous. और फिर उसके बाद Cunha, so I'm not very convinced on Cunha. And reason being, I don't think I've seen enough of this new Wolves, honestly, to back him. Maybe एक दो game weeks बाद, my opinion sort of changes. But after his transfer की सारा dilemmas, I think उसके बाद his performance has improved. Uh, but I'm not as convinced right now, and this might totally change. I was a very happy Cunha owner before, in the first part of the season, but Abhi, I think I need to see more, honestly.
Fair.
Uh, yeah, but that's me. So Wood and then Visa and then Marmoush, but closer to 29. And अगर कुछ changes आए team में, then you can't really say much.
Fair. I
All
think that
right,
makes sense. Yeah.
midfield conversation. इस पे let's not spend too much time because Ahmad, I don't think many people have Ahmad, but people are also trying to get away with Rogers and some other mids to general midfield replacements. So while you get some time to sort of absorb this, I'll just read this out. This is again last 5 game weeks per 90, uh, sorted, basically sorted by expected points, not actual points. So number one we have Ambumo, Adama, Fulham, and then Foden, Clivert, Minte, Shade, Smithrow, Dango, um, Mitoma, Semenyo, Ilanga, Gibbs White, Trossard. And Trossard का I think last 5 weeks का data है which is which does not represent fully his potential because उसके बाद injuries आई हैं, so he initially even wasn't starting because of Harvards and stuff, but now he is. So I would sort of rank him a bit higher on this. Again, like first reaction, what do you think of this list and anything that is not in this list, apart from another Arsenal assets which we will discuss later.
Firstly, like good work, like actually, like you were saying, हम actually बहुत मेहनत करते हैं. You it looks आपने genuinely काफी मेहनत करी है and getting expected points, preparing the list, then forming it like that. So kudos to you. Secondly, I see a lot of opportunity now getting into two, especially Ahmad या Rogers, दोनों 5.5 के नीचे हैं, 5.5 million के lower values हैं, as closer to that है. Um, So the first thing which I see is um, getting two Bournemouth mids now. Because the reason again, fixtures playing more, they are someone who are actually looking to come into Europe and very close to it. So getting into this last stretch की 12 games बची हैं, 12-13 games बची हैं उनके पास. Wolves home, Brighton away, Tottenham away, Brentford home, Ipswich home, West Ham away. काफी fixtures ऐसे हैं जो easily खेलेंगे. If you have Dango, go for Clivert or Semenyo. If you have the other one, just go for another one. So first option is getting your second Bournemouth if you haven't yet. If not, take one at least. Go ahead.
One quick point, heading में under 6 million लिखा हुआ है, that's that's not the case. मैंने पहले लिखा था, that was a
हाँ,
different list, so just ignore that. These do include above 6 million assets. And yeah, continue. Sorry.
correct. Yeah. So first point to get into your team is it's also because वो free करता है funds for your other players जो हम पहले discuss कर रहे थे कि हमको अगर लेके आना है कल आपके city assets को तो. The second thought or the second head that will go in is definitely Brentford. तो अगर आपके पास बूमो नहीं है तो बूमो ले आओ, but I'm assuming Boomo is pretty highly owned, तो Boomo is another player that you should look for. I am also keen, and you will see that in my future, the discussion that we have, is a little bit on Brighton. Now, the reason for that is Brighton has Southampton away, Bournemouth and Fulham home uh, in the next three. So, in short term, if you're chasing, Brighton is not a bad option, and they obviously play City away. So City at least तो 29 blank नहीं करेंगे. But अगर आपके पास Brighton नहीं है, and you're looking for like an sort of punt, you have Mitoma, and I think you raised this point. So you have Mitoma, you have Minte, who are similarly priced, and you can give. और अभी उनकी team fix हो गई है. So like you said, Pedro नहीं खेलता. So that is another. So that's just one more team which I would sort of pay my attention to. But yeah, Bournemouth first. Bumo, obviously, he's the best. I think 7+ player in this list. And then yeah, Arsenal. So a quick point about Arsenal, right? I think you mentioned Trossard, but Arsenal did not play that well. Like at least just
Hmm.
I test के हिसाब से बात कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा, you watched the game, so tell me how they played. I didn't watch the game, Arsenal का. And obviously they won because of Marino, but I didn't watch how they played actually.
So first at least 60 minutes उनकी connection नहीं हो रही थी, in the sense the passes from Odegaard to say a Trossard to a Sterling to a Vaneri, ये सब नहीं हो रहा था because they were fairly new, and they like this setup, like 3-4 जो setup है वो काफी नया है. If you have to buy a player though, 100% Trossard is your player because he goes on the left, he comes central. इस बार कोशिश करी थी स्टर्लिंग को सेंट्रल खिलाने की, it didn't work as much as it could because he's not, I think, as good as he was. Sterling was like, I used to like him, I'll be honest with you. जब especially सिटी के लिए था, I think Pep had given him an option of playing as a tap in, और वो
False.
काफी हाँ
He played
false nine
false
वाला.
nine. He played left mid, left wing. Sterling Man City में was amazing before he
Amazing था हाँ. तो
sort of
मुझे ऐसा
started
लगा था
playing.
Arteta will use him like that, or maybe because of age that thing is passed out, so I don't know, but so that didn't happen. But the asset that you can look for, so okay, so एकदम quick eye catch नहीं किया. It wasn't that, oh wow, Arsenal are still flowing the same way. Merino had to come, they had to cross in, and they got their goal. So they did find a way eventually, which if they have to look for winning the championship, they should. But it's not that you're catching your eye and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, they are going to blow away. Like when you saw Bournemouth, right? Example, मैंने again Bournemouth की highlights देखी हैं, 5-6 मिनट वाली. Bournemouth के पास पहले 20 मिनट में 2 या 3 straight away chances थे, and they scored
Hmm.
two. They had like 3 or 4 chances. जिसमें Dango को chance, Semenyo को chance, Christie ने बाहर को मारा, so on, which means they were just connecting better than what Arsenal were. That's the difference between the
Yeah,
two teams.
that's a nice analysis because data तो हम देख रहे हैं, but like actually football में क्या हो रहा है, like you don't get to see all 10 matches that happen every weekend. So it's good to add that footballing aspect to it as well. So अच्छा, from this list, I think like Mbumo is, I think, the most obvious option to me right now.
True.
If you don't have him, try to get him or Visa, one of them, because if Brentford blow up, which they very possibly can tomorrow, like next game, that would be painful because he's 75% owned or something,
Correct.
and also in pens. Second, I think Bournemouth Mets. I think it's very you put it very nicely. Bournemouth Mets should be very top on your priority list. और उसके बाद Brighton is definitely an option, but they're more punty. So if
Hmm.
you have that extra punty scene, then do it for sure. But I think Trossard would be my third best after Mbumo, Bournemouth Meds. After that, if you're looking for something, then you have Trossard, and obviously Trossard is a little more expensive. But if you're looking for like to like Ahmad replacement, then I think the person we're missing here uh, is Mr. Naveri. I don't know ke, how to pronounce his name,
Special
but
mention.
special mention because I think he is a steal. Reason being, if obviously now this is again assuming your chip strategy, uh, जिसके अंदर if you're wildcarding in 31, then you have those 6 weeks, 4 weeks, जितने भी weeks हैं, in which इनकी पूरी team अभी injured and obviously is playing really good and he's also the first choice option because there are no options. Till Saka comes, I think he will keep the place 90 minutes, plays 90 minutes, plays for the second best team in the league, and he's 4.5, 4.6 now. He rose in price. He's also on set pieces, right side wale ki corners he's taking, and you know how good Arsenal are at set pieces. So I really think he is one of the best like to like price options when it comes to that Ahmad replacement spot. What do you think about him?
No, makes sense. I think for the price he's an asset. अगर आर्सेनल थोड़ा भी कनेक्ट होना शुरू कर देती है, like maybe if they get Havertz back, I don't know, maybe, or if they get someone else back to connect better, you are in much better shape. And I think 4.5 के लिए तो, considering he's starting already, he played almost, I believe, 70 75 last game also. So too good an asset if Arsenal show that they are going to win games, and they are going to continue. The only tough fixture they have is Forest away next. So that's the only fixture which I would sort of think about. But other than that, United away, Chelsea home, Fulham home, pretty fixtures which they can win. And I think West Ham also is an easy fixture next. 4.5, um, ऐसा asset है जो, if you keep him till the time Saka comes back, you don't even have to think about removing because they
Yeah,
don't have anyone. So
yeah, yeah.
that's the thing.
Cool.
Right. So we get into an important discussion. जिन्होंने भी अपनी AM chip activate कर ली है, तो आपने और इन ऑल ऑनेस्टी FPL ने जब चिप लॉन्च करी थी 23rd 24th गेमिंग में, तो काफी सॉर्ट ऑफ हड़बड़ी में करी थी, काफी क्विक थ्रू कर लिया. And the reason for that was they launched it and they quickly announced a double game week. And people just jumped onto it because they were like कि डबल डबल का मौका मिल रहा है, इससे बेटर मौका होगा नहीं. So quite a lot of managers have already played the chip, and उसका नतीजा ये है आपके सामने कि you can see people have gained a lot. So like people went Moyes last week, who actually scored well last week as well. I think he scored 21 or 22 compared like 22 compared to Slot. And these are your managers who have done well despite having single game weeks. So एक तो I don't know whether it comes next week, but very quick realization of this chip is that even single game week managers, especially if you are getting table bonus, are great. Like look at Silva for example. 24 and 25, he scored 18 each, which is more than Slot, who's done double double.
Yeah.
So it is an eye opener. Assuming कि अगर next week भी आती है तो it's a big thing. Few things to note जो 24-25 में हुई है, 25th especially Brighton won their game. Table bonus 21 points, clean sheet भी मिला चेल्सी के against Silva, Emre, second game week के बाद 14, Slot 13 and Guardiola 12, um, with a 4-0 win against Newcastle. 24 and Silva, just like I mentioned, ये है अरसलान ने काफ़ी डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस किया है, जो हमारे ट्विटर हैंडल पे है FPL Without Borders. Arslan, some thoughts on that, please.
Um, yeah, so in short, अगर सिर्फ एनालिसिस के कंक्लूजन में बताऊं तो इन माय ओपिनियन अभी तक जो दो मेन स्ट्रेटजीज थी which was Moyes, Emery, someone and then slot someone, uh, उसमें आई थिंक मैनेजर का जो डिसीजन था उसका जो डिफरेंशियल रहा है वो नहीं था. इट वाज लाइक इनसिग्निफिकेंट इन माय ओपिनियन. Because agar, like, so in this analysis I've sort of compared all possible scenarios, not just managers but including जो top main sort of आपके supplementary players थे with your managers as well. तो I think like manager के points में इतना difference honestly नहीं रहा, but the differential came from which players you picked for the double more than what manager you picked. And उसका like very obvious reason is कि there was no win in for the table bonus team in both game weeks, right? Moise ने draw किया, Emery ने draw किया, and then he also lost the first one, which was like 4-pointer. So like 7 points का difference if you can compare them absolute level पे, which is insignificant. But if you got Beto versus Endai, or if you got Gakpo versus Word, I think Trent versus Konate, I think these decisions had a bigger swing than your assistant manager decision till now. Which obviously now in retrospect, if you think, those triple captainers were obviously way more luckier or smarter. जो जिन्होंने knowingly decision किया था, not luckier, but obviously like putting it on Salah double game week, that was I think the winner. But there is still one more or two more weeks for AM left. कुछ लोगों ने 25 में start की थी, कुछ ने 24 में. So we have next week to chase and we might see a big upset.
Great point. I think please ट्विटर पे हमारे हैंडल पे अरसलान ने काफ़ी डिटेल्ड इसकी एनालिसिस डाली है. कंपेयरिंग, यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन, छोटा सा स्क्रीनशॉट हमने डाला हुआ है जिसपे मोएज और साला, मोएज, बेटो, ट्रेंट, साला, एमरी का कंपैरिजन है वर्सेस स्लॉट एंड आई, साला और ट्रेंट का कंपैरिजन है. What impact it would have had, especially if you're planning to play this in 31 to 33, जो नेक्स्ट और इवन 32 to 34, जो नेक्स्ट डबल डबल देखने या डबल गेम वीक आने का चांस है. पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एडी हाउ. प्लीज हैव अ लुक, ये बहुत आपको हेल्प करेगा. एंड आपको हेल्प करे तो प्लीज प्लीज जाकर ट्विटर पे रीट्वीट कीजिए या लाइक कीजिए. So yeah, so that's one more thing. And lastly, where we are right now is Moist to Emre ने 36 दिए हैं, slot ने 28 दिए हैं, and we'll see who you think about. So if you go to next slide now, Arslan. So this is where what 26 is looking like, right? Rob T का chart है आपके सामने.
Property.
The guy who speaks data. अरसलान ने ये भी ट्वीट किया है कि अब किनके पास टेबल बोनस के ऑप्शन है, स्पेशली इफ यू आर चेजिंग, लाइक इफ आई लाइक पीपल लाइक मी. मैं तो 2 मिलियन हूँ, बट इवन इफ यू आर लाइक क्लोज टू अ मिलियन, आई वुड जस्ट do this table bonus now. And if you are on your AM chip, and the reason for people like me or anyone who's chasing is इससे बड़ा मौका नहीं मिलेगा. Like you can see, right? You people like Silva and the Brighton manager got actually 15 plus points from a single game. तो इससे बेटर मौका आपके पास फ्रॉम अ सिंगल प्लेयर. इट्स लाइक अ डबल, इट्स लाइक अ कैप्टनशिप. सो यू आर बेसिकली प्लेइंग टू कैप्टन, लाइक थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक दैट. तो 15 पॉइंट from your 13th प्लेयर मिलने का मौका नहीं है, and who better to punt than the options that you have right now for table bonus. Like, you can play safe with us with Arteta. He could give you 8 or 9, but if I were you, I would select. So just a quick comparison on this sheet, on this chart, is Arteta is predicted to go up to 8.5. If you have slot, he might give you 5.5, assuming City's chances of winning are higher in that case. And if you go with the likes of Van Nistelrooy or McKenna, although their win percentage probabilities are lower, they can range from a lower of 5 to 7 to a higher of 15 to 18. So obviously you're targeting the ceiling in these cases, but that is your sort of thought process. So Arslan, from whatever you have also analyzed, क्या लग रहा है आपको? Where is your head going?
So in your comparison between punt versus a safer pick, you were on the punt side for AM last week of AM, right?
Exactly.
That's what. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Okay.
you rightly said last week, right? So last week hai, I'm chasing. It just makes sense to
Yeah,
punt it.
yeah. Like honestly, जो मैंने अभी like पहले हम जो ना अभी discuss किए numbers, the difference that a manager decision sort of had. Uh, I think इतना बड़ा decision अभी तक रहा नहीं है. So for me, like how I'm thinking about it is, AM is done. Like it's done, and now we have like one bonus week.
That's
For
true.
this tip, and why I'm thinking about this is मेरा शुरू से initially when I walked into this tip, मेरा plan, हमने बहुत detailed discussion की थी on slot versus Moyes, if you remember, and I went into slot knowing कि मैं अब 4 हफ्ते बाद निकल के आऊँगा, right? That was
Hmm.
the whole plan. And so I initially even planned कि last week में I it's worth punting because it obviously depends अभी हमारे last 4 weeks कैसे जाते, but I think the way they turned out, I think I'm confident in sort of punting because the downside is not that much, and but the upside is a lot, is how I'm thinking about it. Like अगर if Emery drew, he got 4 points, right? Like it's 4 points, and if he won,
True.
he got like 14, like 15. ठीक है, it's not that big of a thing. But if you're punting with like someone like Glasner or McKenna or like the table bonus, if you're chasing the table bonus basically, then your upside is 18, like 20, 15. Like that's a decent upside in a way. Ke it's almost like an extra captain, or sometimes people, the bench boost in a single game we can get 15 points out of it, and this is just 1 week of the 5 game weeks we got out of this AM chip. So I think it's fine to sort of punt. अगर Arteta के ऊपर भी लगा दें, it's fine. um, but if you want to switch, then I would go to a table bonus option. That's one bit of it. The second bit is people with Emery and Slot who, so there is a chance कि अच्छा, Emery is a bit more simpler. So Emery has Chelsea, and you can back Villa to win that game, and you can just save your transfer. That is one very sound strategy. It is boring, but it is completely sound. मतलब इसमें कोई मसला नहीं है strategy में.
Agree.
And if I had a decent rank, like if you have a good rank, if you're satisfied with your rank, just go with the safer option. But so I think Emery के case में I think it's okay to stay, but um, for example, like you could also just move on and chase the table bonus. That's that's what we are suggesting personally. And slot में ये है कि you could still back Liverpool to win, but it's a away game at City, which Liverpool can still win the way City is playing. लेकिन the upside is 10 points, maybe 11 points,
Correct, yeah.
12 points. But so it's that. So I would chase the table bonus, and in short,
In your position too, right? Like, even if you're 100K
I'm a
or
slot
lower.
owner. Sorry.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah, I'm a
100K
slot
or
owner.
lower, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
So yeah, that's my thing. Should we move on?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Oh, captaincy. Um, yeah, go for it.
So I've tried to keep it very simple, although this week I feel, and हम और आप डिस्कस भी कर रहे थे कि थोड़ा सा सबसे डिफिकल्ट वीक है टू सॉर्ट ऑफ फाइनलाइज कौन सा रेयर वीक है जिसमें साला के अगेंस्ट आपको जाने का मौका है. Having said that, जैसे ही मैंने थोड़ा सा नंबर्स देखना शुरू किया मुझे लगा यार कैसे आप जाओगे. लाइक सिटी आर द वन ऑफ द लीकेस्ट डिफेंसेस इन द डिवीजन. सो 35 गोल्स मारे हैं उनके अगेंस्ट गए हैं. दे आर स्टिल लाइक नॉट इन टॉप 5 बट टॉप 10 में है. एंड 10.4 पर गेम पर साला खेल रहा है. लाइक इवन इन अ 2-2 ड्रॉ टुडे he had a goal and assist. Then yesterday लास्ट गेम में भी उन्होंने रिटर्न दिया ही है. तो लाइक astonishing returns है ये गेम. Like he's just on a mad run right now. But if you do feel कि City are going to keep him to say one goal, and if you see there is a ceiling where you can attempt again chasers, people who are 150k and you want to get into 100k in like 1 or 2 game weeks, this is an opportunity, 100% an opportunity. Like you have to look at opportunities, right, where the the hit won't be that high. Because I assume, and again Arslan इसमें expert है और वो मे भी इसको better answer करेंगे कि City will not start as open, um, defensively against Liverpool. Like they would want to play a little defensive and then sort of go to win the game. They would want to go to win the game. And to me, City, I know, if you see the odds as well, I think Rob TK odds, if you open, City are predicted to win this game more than um, more than Liverpool. Now that is a very very strong indicator कि goals जाएंगे, but there is a good chance that City come out and maybe अगर 2-1 हो गया and Arsenal and Salah सिर्फ एक return देता है, then there's a good chance that a Bumo or a Clivert or any other names that we have mentioned here um, kind of give you a higher return. So that's your sort of opportunity and the ceiling that you can chase. And the three options which I felt have a good ceiling here are Bumo, obviously, because like we discussed, I think he's almost like a must buy now. If him and Visa में है तो आपको you should start looking because Leicester are fourth for XGA conceded. And third, a punt on Clivert. Penalty taker, all three penalty takers हैं. Wolves है. I know Wolves have started getting a bit better, but the challenge now with Clivert is, or the challenge with other options is Isak has Forest. I am not very tempted with that. Visa है जो Leicester के against. So between Visa and Bumo, you would choose Bumo, and between Dango and Clivert, my head was going towards okay maybe the penalty taker is better. So ये मेरा thought process था. But Arslan, like, how are you viewing this captaincy? Because in your case, you are aiming to get into 100k, 50k right now. So
Um, yeah, so good list, I think. So Mbumo definitely is the second shout. In fact, like I mostly agree with this list. I think
but you still
Salah
think
is an
Salah
obvious.
is top? Okay,
Salah
okay.
is top. Salah is top. There is no way City does not concede 2 goals.
Fair.
Matlab, it's very,
Wow.
even if we win, it has to be more goals than 3-2 or 2-1, but it cannot be the other way around. Like it can't be a 1-0 win. It won't be a clean sheet. And 60% of Liverpool's contribution come through Salah.
Wow.
Uh, Jota sub out हुआ था आज
Hmm.
around 60th minute I think. Or, I don't know, 60th 70th minute. उसके बाद Nunez came in and I think he is the reason Liverpool lost today.
Hmm.
Because मतलब open इतना बड़ा open goal he missed the tap in. There are not a lot of Liverpool attacking options. So जो starting 11 है, they do perform really good and majority of the share goes to Salah. City is a leaky defense. No changing there. Stones is out again, although Diaz is back, but um, Salah, in short, Salah.
Okay.
I think I honestly think this is not the week to go against Salah, but if you
Wow.
are really, really cheesing, go for Mbumo. But I would not suggest going away Salah. Um, Dude, we just came out from a 6-3 aggregate loss. Yes, न्यूकासल अच्छा खेला, but उसके अलावा goals concede कर रहे हैं, कोई सीन नहीं है,
I don't know, man.
unfortunately.
I feel that City will not give Liverpool that easy game. I mean, this is just me, but I feel that इतनी आसान तो नहीं करेंगे उनके लिए. Let's see.
यार मसला ये it's not clicking. The defense is not clicking. न्यूकासल में लाइक
Hmm,
अगर गेम देखो तो यू कुड टेल के मिडफील्ड पासिंग डिफेंस टू मिडफील्ड ट्रांजिशन फिर आगे अटैक में निको गोंजालेस प्लेड अ वेरी गुड रोल इन दैट एंड उसके साथ स्टोन्स वॉक इनटू द मिडफील्ड उसके बाद जाके आवर मिडफील्ड गेट स्ट्रॉन्गर बट नाउ इफ यू रिमूव स्टोन्स देन यू अगेन हैव गुंडोगन और कोवाचिच I don't know. I don't trust our defense right now. Hence,
fair.
I think Salah, and obviously coming in income, he's in red hot form. How it's not easy to go against him, even if you are at a big rank. क्योंकि अगर वही है, अगर आपने miss कर दिया, and Salah scores one or two, which he will, and he also gets three bonus every single time. Uh, so it's like a downhill slope.
That's true. Makes sense.
That's my analysis, though.
No, totally fair. I think very, very good points on you. It is this is you are still feeling कि Salah is a banker, right? I think that's what मुझे समझ आ रहा है आप जो बोल रहे हो like उसमें आप maybe Bumo maybe Leicester 1-1 कर दे maybe and Wissam scores and Bumo doesn't so साला के केस में एटलीस्ट ये होता है कि उसका रिटर्न फिक्स होता है which is what has been happening and as a City fan if you're feeling that City is not necessarily keeping a clean sheet so I think he scored more than 60% of goals this year for or
Yeah,
returned more than 60% times Liverpool have so it's too big a
and then
point
you're
to
going against 190% EO.
true true तो वो भी है सही बात
So anyways, yeah, that's basically it. Anything else here? It should be move on.
है no I think that's your job options yeah
All right. FPL Eagle's Eye, our
it's done
trademark.
yeah
You go first. You go first.
इसमें एक तो पहले shout out to Esan and and more importantly and for shout out to Esan for creating something like this and giving us something unique अगर आपको ऐसी चीजें अच्छी लगती हैं where we bring new sort of concepts to the table we open your eyes to newer insights something that you haven't thought of तो प्लीज़ लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब कीजिए प्लीज़ हमारे वीडियो को सपोर्ट कीजिए वी like Arslan mentioned we do put in a lot of effort and try to be as earnest as we can during the week with all our findings क्या जो हमको आई टेस्ट दिख रहा है एनालिसिस दिख रहे हैं जितने हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज हैं उनको इकट्ठा कर कर आपके सामने लाने की कोशिश करते हैं so please do show us some love very happy to continue doing this and we will continue bringing this every game week and be even more sort of involved with the coming chips हम सब अलग अलग चिप्स भी खेल रहे हैं तो आपके पास अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स भी होते हैं रैंक भी हमारे फॉर्चुनेटली अलग है so anyone who's looking into this has so please do like subscribe share कीजिए and thank you for showing love um,
Good plug. Good plug.
oh thank you हाँ मतलब I like this so we were हम offline chat भी कर रहे थे I like this because the reason is every game week you're now especially people 12 13 game weeks to go you want at least one or two differential to hit which will boost your rank to 5k 10k by a single player right or maybe like a couple of players who sort of help so with that in mind my two shouts here were like I said one was Bournemouth. If you don't have a Bournemouth, you should get Bournemouth. So hence Dango. And the other one was Mitoma. If आपने अगर उसका चेल्सी का गोल नहीं देखा है तो प्लीज जाके गोल देखिए. It is absolutely scintillating and gorgeous. Like thin air से उठाया and he scored. So he looks like he's come into that old Mitoma form. So yeah, so these two were my plugs.
Good stuff. Mitoma, yeah, Brighton are coming back in form. अच्छा एसएन का ईगल्स आए पे he thinks Beto and Visa from his POV and I think these also make a lot of sense because Beto Moise का I think सारा system
Correct.
attack wise depends on his striker.
It's true.
It could have been Calvert Lewin, he was not that, and when I bought Endai, that was I think a mistake. Reason being not because he got injured, but because he's the creative outlet of that team. But जो target आपका target man है, that's Beto, and the form they're in, it's worth a punt. He also plays in game week 29. All of these players, in fact, play in game week 29, so that's we did take that into accommodation. फिर दूसरा विसा है. Vista is still very low owned, and with his match against Leicester coming up, I think it is the perfect entry point for him. My punt for the week or the next few weeks, I think, is Guardiola. He is very expensive, but let me put this into perspective. So again, because I watch a lot of City, uh, so Guardiola plays. It's कोई इसमें शक नहीं है. Like everybody, I think, in fact, knows that he is one of the
Hmm.
most attacking attackers in the league, attacking defenders in the league. He is, I think, before Marmoush or maybe even after Marmoush, he is still the third most goal scorer, I think, in City for City this season. And especially being a defender, uh, considering the doubles coming up, considering he plays in the blank, and considering how high he plays, um, Diaz, Ake, and Khulsanov or whoever, how you pronounce his name, Tino. अब I think right back भी हमारे पास नहीं है. Rico Lewis slash Khulsanov is our right back. Um, as he played it today against Madrid, Pichara, like it was his first game as a right back against Madrid at Bernabeu. Anyways, my point is center backs तीन है, and Guardiola I think will have a lot of opportunity to go ahead, and he's shown that like we have data back it. So that's sort of my point for the week. Ah,
Okay,
cool,
interesting.
good
I
stuff.
like Guardiola's name actually. Let's see, because he's
And yeah,
one guy
Trent
to.
replacement. Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, go
So
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, basically yeah, Trent. People are looking to sort of move away from him. 29 में blank hai. He's Khair, Bradley got injured today, so I don't know if people should move away from Trent. But आज भी he got subbed off at 60ish last game week maybe. But Bradley's out, so he might just have to play all games now. Okay, so bus teams for the week. SN की team left पे for our audio listeners as well. Um, Pickford in goal, Gabriel, Hall, and Robinson are his defenders. Dango, Palmer, Diaz, Salah, Wissa, Mateta, and Isak. So a very solid 11. He has Wissa, Mateta, and Isak front three, which is incredible. And then um, his manager is Emery at the moment, and then bench pe Langa, Castagna, and Van Dijk. So SN is not doing any transfers, any player transfers, but he does plan to move from Emery to Glasner. He's going for that Crystal Palace table bonus game. So that's his only planned transfer for this week. Puneet, your team?
I think so. Surprise! I've made my two transfers, which I had free. Um, I've actually listened to SN here. मेरा मेरा रीजन ये था कि मुझे पेड्रो ड्रॉप हो रहा था और एंड मुझे लगा खेलने ही नहीं वाला, तो एंड का मेरा डायरेक्ट प्रेडिक्शन वाज बेटो बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू सेव मनी एंड पेड्रो ड्रॉप होने के चक्कर में आई वांटेड एटलीस्ट वन प्लेयर टू प्ले अगेंस्ट साउथहैम्पटन, इसलिए मैंने वेल पिक लिया है. So my team for the listeners is currently Pickford in goal, although screenshot में Vladimirson है, but Pickford in goal, Gabriel, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mikalenko, Palmer, Bumo, Salah, Rogers, Welbeck, Beto and Isak. Uh, two transfers थे, दोनों use कर लिए हैं. My two options are I will most likely go a hit on either McKenna or Glasner. I don't think I will keep slot. 80% sure कि मैं कहना है Glasner पे punt लूंगा because I want to chase. And my bench has Lademarson, Sar, Castagna, and Hall. So that's where I'm at. Um, any thoughts?
No, I think a very solid team. Southampton ke against Welbeck, I think is a very, very nice punt. Not like it's a punt because he's very low owned. So I think
Yeah,
if he scores, you should see big greens, inshallah.
correct. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I
Beto,
knew it. Okay, great.
Beto, yeah, like we discussed, Eagle's Eye. You went with Beto, I went with Visa. Uh,
Yeah.
both, both, both on Essence Eagle Eye, but like we shared the numbers before as well, and I think Visa has been underperforming. इसलिए थोड़ा under the radar जा रहा है compared to his XG. So yeah, Beto is a very solid shout, and then obviously Isak. Uh, And yeah, again, Slot versus McKenna. When you decide, please post on our Twitter handle as well.
Yep, absolutely.
For me,
What about you?
it's a pretty straightforward team. Pickford, Gabriel, and I have Kirkes from Bournemouth defense, which I'm happy about. Then I have Trent, Salah, Clivert, Palmer, Rogers, and then Isak, Vissa, and Watkins. So my transfer for this week was João Pedro to Vissa. I was done with João Pedro. It was very disappointing season with him.
Uh,
So yeah, I'm done with him. Watkins, happy to own him. He's my vice captain, and yeah, I'll be going with Salah captain. That's definitely on. And manager transfer me, I am 90% sure I'm doing slot to Glasner as well. And we didn't touch a lot on Glasner. Like overall, हमने I think AM में काफी बात तो की, but हमने
हाँ,
we didn't do justice to this conversation. But Glasner, I think Fulham obviously are in a very good form. But if you're chasing the table bonus, then you either have all the relegated teams, or like relegation zone में जो teams हैं, or you have. I think Glasner is the best shout quality of team wise. अगर आप बात करें, like, they can give Fulham a good competition. I still do think it draw होगा, या maybe Fulham can still win, but the probability of him winning compared to McKenna or the other table bonus वाले managers winning, I think Glasner is the best option amongst them, and yeah, I'm chasing the upside here. But yeah,
but you want to
that
do Glasner in that case, right? Like you want to
I'll do a
move
transfer.
towards yeah.
Yeah, so I had two free transfers, one Joao Pedro to Visa and the second one is slot. Or for the first time now, I'll be out of transfers. uh, but I have not taken a hit yet, so I am still proud of that.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
that's
I
true.
should have, but it's fine. Yeah, it's not my habit unless needed. 29, I might have to take a hit, but I'm trying
Mm.
to avoid that too. That is all from this week's podcast, guys. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. If you have made it till here, please drop a like and subscribe, and show support in the comments. We'll see you guys next week for the Game Week 27 preview. But also we're thinking of doing more content midweek. Chip strategies के ऊपर जिस तरह हमने किया था पहले, so we do plan to do more of such content. So yeah, give us a follow. Thank you all, and see you
Thanks
next
all.
week.
Thanks everyone. See you next week.